Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Lexipol webinar, 3 Ways to Build Trust in Your Body-Worn Video Program. We're going to be getting started in just a moment or so here. I want to thank our sponsors for today's webinar, Kustom Signals. It's great to be partnering with them, and they have been a pleasure to work with. So we really appreciate Kustom Signals for partnering with us and sponsoring today's event. We really appreciate them being here today. All right, we've got a great panel joining us here today, and we're going to introduce them here right now. Jim Lindquist is the marketing manager for Kustom Signals, Inc., and Jim has an extensive background in technology, and he's been leading Kustom's digital marketing communications for the past 4 years. Harry Spencer stepped out of the software engineering world and into his role as the technical sales engineer for Kustom Signals. Harry's role is to help find custom solutions for agencies and organizations that are working to deploy a body-worn video or in-car video program. Kiefer Ware is also here today, and Kiefer is the video product manager with Kustom Signals. He is a seasoned video product manager with a unique blend of expertise in technology and law enforcement. With a background rooted in public safety and communications, Kiefer brings over a decade of experience in developing innovative solutions to enhance operational efficiency and safety in high-stakes environment. And with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to our presenters here on our panel. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, welcome, guys, to today's webinar, 3 Ways to Build Trust in Your Body-Worn Video Program, presented by Kustom Signals. As Steve said, I'm Jim Lindquist from Kustom Signals, and I'm going to help our guys kind of navigate today's topic. So whether you're here to improve community transparency, reinforce internal accountability, or simply looking to get the most out of your department's video investment, you're in the right place. To start off, we're going to have 2 quick poll questions just to kind of gauge how the audience is doing and where we're coming from with today. First one here, we just want to simply know, is your agency currently evaluating body-worn camera equipment for purchase? We'll leave that up here for a little bit. And then you should see the questions up on your screen. You can click just the yes or the no there for us. Great. Pulling in answers now. Awesome. Then we're going to move a little bit quickly to our second one here in just a few moments. Give a few more time to answer there. Great. So then for our next question, and this one kind of make you be retrospective for a little bit, introspective, I should say. How would you grade your community's trust regarding your current body-worn video program if you do have one? So let us know if you simply don't have one yet, if there's a major need for improvement, maybe just a little bit of improvement, or maybe you guys are already the perfect example with your community's trust in your body-worn video program. This one will take a little bit more thinking, so I'll give you some more time here as those answers come rolling in. Awesome. Cool. We forgot to load in some Jeopardy music, but appreciate you guys answering there. So in today's environment, trust is more important. It's more than just a buzzword. It's a critical foundation for effective policing. So over the next 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to explore how a well-designed video program is going to serve as a bridge between your officers and the communities that they serve. You'll learn how the right technologies and implementation strategies can help foster public confidence while also supporting the men and women on the front line. Our panel today is Kiefer Ware. He's our video product manager at Kustom Signals, and Harry Spencer. He's our technical sales engineer for Kustom Signals. They're going to walk us through some of the lessons they've learned while talking to officers from all over the world and feedback from the communities that those officers serve regarding the use of body-worn cameras. They both have extensive experience implementing body-worn camera programs on Kustom Signals' new platform, Argus. You'll hear that word a lot today. And while they'll walk you through lessons learned from working with those agencies and communities of all different sizes, they're also going to show us how the capabilities and functionality of Argus was actually shaped to meet the ever-evolving needs and impacts of a body-worn video program. You'll see on your screen on the bottom there, there's going to be an opportunity to ask questions. please fill that out all throughout the presentation here, and at the end, we'll circle back and make sure we get to those questions here for you. So let's go ahead. Let's not wait any longer. Let's dive right in, and we're going to discover how your video program can become one of your strongest tools for building trust. We're going to start off with Harry Spencer. Hey, Harry.
Hey, thanks, Jim. So there are two areas I'm going to address today of particular importance when considering video programs: how they can build community trust and trust between a department and its officers. First, let's address building community trust. One of the biggest questions the community may ask when seeing a member of law enforcement wearing a body camera is, when am I being recorded? There are many ways to indicate a recording, from the officer stating you're being recorded to visual cues. Obviously, there are many situations where an officer is not going to be able or have the time to verbally confirm. Therefore, cameras should have numerous options for different forms of notifications, allowing departments and communities to come up with the solutions that best work for them. With this in mind, our Argus body-worn cameras have many different methods to not only alert the officer, but the public as well when a recording is being taken. This is a configurable setting where law enforcement can, with the community, find the best working solution for all. Through our experience with numerous agencies, departments, and offices, we have come up with default settings that we find work the best for most organizations. And this is something that's very simple for me to demo right here. So here's an Argus body-worn camera. I'm going to start a recording very simply right now. So I can look at this camera and I'm seeing a flashing red light. That is, if I'm an officer, telling me that I am actively recording and I am picking up audio. With proper education in the community, they can see this and know, okay, this officer is recording me and they're picking up audio. Now, this can change very simply if I was to set the device to only pick up video and not pick up audio. The visual cue has changed. Now we just have a solid red light. I can quickly change that again. Having different configurable solutions from just flashing LEDs is a very important tool that different body-worn cameras can include to help the officer and the community build trust together. Now, while notifications are important, the availability of recordings to the public at large is another area where trust can be built. It is understandable that there are situations when the public would want to see a recording. There are many situations where this is proper, and per FOIA, any video platform needs to take this into consideration. This is going to happen, so that accessibility is of utmost importance. Consequently, a video platform should streamline this process, making it as easy as possible, within reason, for an organization to make requested videos available. We can see how a video program does this by taking a look at our Argus Data Vault, our evidence management platform, which makes this an overall easy process, be it with our Argus body-worn cameras or our Argus in-car videos. By choosing a piece of evidence that we want, we can then simply step in and click the Share Externally button. First, all we need is just the email of the recipient. We can then decide how long we want this piece of evidence or video to be available for. If there are numerous videos with one piece of evidence, such as with our Argus in-car video systems, we can have up to 4 different cameras per in-car video system. You can choose one, a few, or all. That's entirely up to you. You can also choose if the recipient could be able to download or just view these videos. Once this is shared, what's very important is that the fact that this video was shared will be included on the chain of custody. We will actually talk about that here in a bit. Now, with any request of videos, tools such as redaction must also be considered, particularly in situations including sensitive materials or minors. Aspects of these videos need to be protected. Thus, redaction is an important feature of any video platform. We're going to throw up a video here in a second. Here we go. Take this video as an example. A routine traffic stop with civilians passing by. Understandable that a department and the community at large would want to protect their identities as bystanders. A reliable video platform should include redaction capabilities to make this possible. With our Argus Data Vault, this is an easy process, which is important as older technologies can take a lot of time that a department may not have. To address this time concern, platforms can not only streamline manual redaction processes, but include automatic face recognition technologies, which our Argus Data Vault has built in. I did this video we just saw manually over just a couple minutes, but could cut that time down even more with automatic face recognition. Beyond just requesting a video, communities may, and rightfully so, have concerns about what happens to a recording once taken. Where are they stored? Who has access to them? How often are they viewed? A reliable video platform must take these concerns into account, as it's critical to building trust with a community. With our Argus Data Vault, this information is readily available through a detailed chain of custody. Anytime this video is accessed, the who and when are recorded. Furthermore, this information can be shared by a quick and easy form we call our evidence report card. Creating this is simply just a click, and the entire history of the video, from the status of the device at the start of the recording, the who and when took the recording, to everything that has happened to it after being uploaded to our Argus Data Vault, will be detailed in this document. These are just some of the top points when building trust between law enforcement and the community through a video platform. And I hope this conversation can spark some discussions among you and your communities. But with that, I'm going to send it back to Jim.
Thanks, Harry. So with our last poll, we asked our audience how they would already rate their community's trust with their body-worn video program. We had 76% of our attendees say that they need some improvement. Does that surprise you guys based off of what you hear from agencies?
Yeah, I think, and as Jim mentioned, I do a lot of our demos and trainings on our video platforms. And when I'm on site, I hear a lot of concerns about transparency. And I think transparency is where you start. When I mentioned understanding what the notifications on these devices are, that is reaching out to the community and creating that transparency of here's our devices we have, this is the platform we're using, this is how it works. Here at Kustom Signals, when we've designed this platform, we kept that in mind, pretty much second to just officer safety. And when doing the training and working with departments as I do, we walk through that process to best help them set up that path toward transparency with their community at large.
Great. Thanks for letting us know. So for our audience, let's go ahead and let's take another poll here. So before we asked about your community and their trust with your body-worn camera program, let's talk about your officers now. So how would you guys in the audience rate the trust that your officers have with your body-worn camera program? We're kind of going off of the same answers from before. Maybe you don't have a program yet. Maybe you need a little bit of improvement, major improvement, or maybe you guys are already the perfect examples. We'll give you guys a few minutes here to answer that. And it does cause you to be a little introspective, but definitely very helpful for the rest of the presentation here. And Harry, you'll be interested to hear too, 4% of people that answered the last poll said that they were absolutely perfect. So with their community trust, so we'll see what they feel here with their trust between their body-worn cameras and their officers. All right, we'll give a few more minutes or a few more seconds there. Great. So Harry, I guess we're going to send it back to you then. We're going to go ahead and have you tell us some ways that agencies that might not be feeling as comfortable with trust between their officers and their body-worn camera, what kind of things they should look for and maybe how they could improve that.
Yeah, absolutely. While community trust is, and I think we've discussed this and can all agree, critical to maintaining a healthy dynamic between law enforcement and the public, it is also crucial that a department builds trust with its officers as well. When it comes to members of law enforcement, it's knowing what is being recorded when that is one of the first concerns that I have heard. As we mentioned earlier, knowing when or not audio is being picked up is one. However, other notifications, such as when a video is being live streamed, are understandably important to law enforcement officers. Let's talk about live streaming for a second, as it is a critical safety feature with current video technologies. It is not difficult to imagine scenarios where live streaming an event back to an office would be critical for not only safety, but transparency. This is why we built in a SOS alarm into our devices to instantaneously begin streaming. However, when the dire is not the case, an officer needs to trust that they know when the video they are currently taking is being live streamed. We account for that by changing the LED to blue at the top of the Argus body-worn camera. But like everything else, this is configurable. Now, the operation of devices aren't the only area to build trust between officers and their department through their video platform. The evidence management side is a particular note in this regard. A common question among officers after videos are uploaded tends to be, who has access to my videos? This is dependent on the policies and procedures of a department or office. The best a video platform can do, as ours does, is make this process as simple and straightforward as possible. For example, we can set up numerous roles within our Argus data vault, each of them with different permissions. Take the officer. Right there, under access domain to the left of the screen, we can see this role configured to access only their own videos. If we switch to the administrator role, we can see they have access to all their videos on this platform. By making this a drop-down option, this is easy for administration to configure and adjust. This is also important as now there is no need for the officer to be concerned about seeing something they shouldn't. This can give assurance to a member of law enforcement that what they have access to is safe for them to view and alleviate any concern about stepping outside the line or accessing more than they should. Now, following along this train of thought, and something we mentioned earlier, each video has a detailed chain of custody. And any officer or deputy with access to their videos can see the who and when of who viewed, exported, or accessed the video in any way. Looking at the redacted video from earlier, we can see everything I did to it, as well as Kiefer, who I asked to kind of poke his head in and look at this video for this presentation here. The key point to take away here is that a reliable and trusted video platform empowers members of law enforcement, giving them comfort that when working with the platform, they are never putting themselves or their position at risk. Our Argus Data Vault does that. Now, while we have seen how a video platform can build trust between a department and their officers, it is also important to choose devices that promote officer safety. This is, in and of itself, a key point into building trust. As we have mentioned aspects of devices already when considering transparency with officers in the community, for example, when a recording is taking place, is audio being recorded, is this being live streamed? But there is more than that. And one aspect is that of accountability. Accountability that your device will stay on and continue to record, that it will start recording when needed, and that if you need immediate assistance or intervention, headquarters can be alerted and video can be live streamed. These capabilities are a benchmark of a reliable video platform, one our Argus video platform meets. The first point I just mentioned is accountability that your devices will stay on. No one ever wants to answer the question of why a video stopped for 2 minutes with, because I had to change my battery. This issue can be handled by a device, particularly a body-worn camera, by including a hot swappable battery. Our Argus body-worn camera does include this in all models. And again, this is something that is very quick and simple that I can show right here. We mentioned earlier the flashing LED light right here, so I know that I am actively recording. Say I'm at an event, I know this is gonna go 30 minutes to another hour. I know my battery's at risk of dying. Well, I can quickly grab my camera, take it off the vest, and switch out the battery. All I gotta do is pop off that back plate. These are pretty sturdy. best way to do this, I've learned, is just a handcuff key. I can take that battery out of the back with just this little tab that my slippery fingers can't get. There we go. I take it out. We can see here, I'm still recording. I got more than enough time to grab a new battery, throw that in there, throw the back plate back on, and our device has been operational the entire time. While this is an important feature of any body-worn camera, having a hot swappable battery is not the only way to build trust between an officer and their video platform. For example, platforms must also consider that it's not always an option to start a recording by pressing a button. It's not difficult to come up with scenarios where an officer would not be able or have the time to start recording. Designers of any trusted and reliable video platform need to ask themselves, how can I leverage the most current technologies to ensure a recording can be activated if the officer is unable to? When looking for the right video system, law enforcement needs to ask themselves, what situations may they find themselves in where they need to rely on a device to start a recording? For example, if an officer has to take off on a foot pursuit or go prone, how about if there are numerous officers at the same location? Is it realistic of having them all pause and manually start a recording? Or, in a worst case scenario, have to withdraw their firearm? For us here at Kustom Signals, we've answered these questions with such capabilities as intense movement alarms, proximity activation, and smart holster detection. When looking for a video platform, please consider capabilities such as these. When it comes to building trust through your video platform, we've just covered some highlights. And while we've mentioned how our Argus video platform meets these standards, we have just scratched the surface. We encourage any of you who would like to know more, please reach out and schedule a demo with us. We are set up to do these virtually and happy to meet based on your schedule. We will include a link in the chat and at the end of this presentation. With that, that's it from me, and thank you so much for your time. I'm going to throw it back to Jim.
Thanks, Harry. So it sounds like body-worn cameras are just, the technology is just flying. I mean, just a few years ago, we weren't ever even talking about live streaming from a body-worn camera. So it sounds like the focus on officers trusting their body-worn camera is going to become an even bigger issue here in the future. And I was thinking even beyond that, though, with officer safety is, daily becoming a bigger and bigger challenge. Do you hear those same concerns when you're speaking with agencies and their communities about body-worn cameras?
Yeah, I'll take that one, Jim. Certainly, that is a huge concern that we deal with on a daily basis when working with our customers. And that is why we use the ethos of those automatic event detection methodologies to ensure that as an officer, you don't have to worry about your gear or anything else to distract you from the task at hand. We really want them to be able to focus on what they're doing, building that trust with their community, and not have to worry about any other externalities that could potentially get in the way.
Great. Thanks for sharing that with us. So for those of you guys in the audience, I did want to remind you, you can ask questions if you want to put those in the spot below there. We're going to read those here at the end. We've already had a few come in, so just wanted to set that reminder. And then let's go ahead and let's do one more poll question. So we've talked about the trust of your community, the trust of your officers with your body-worn camera. So the third question is, how much do you trust your body-worn cameras, themselves, as far as reliability goes? So the same thing, let us know if you don't have a program, if you mostly trust it. Sometimes you might have easily fixable issues, don't have a lot of trust, or if you don't trust it at all. We'll give you guys a few minutes here, or a few moments here to answer those in the bottom here. Great. Answers are pouring in here now. We'll give you a few more moments. Great. So Kiefer, while everyone's finishing up answering those questions, can you highlight the importance of device reliability and how it equates to trust with body-worn cameras?
Absolutely. Modern law enforcement and public safety officers find themselves in challenging situations every day. Officers must be able to focus on the task at hand and not be concerned with their device's durability. The last thing on your mind should be, is my equipment going to perform? It's going to be a bit difficult to build a level of confidence with your community and department if things keep breaking or not working as intended. Your hardware should meet specific certifications to ensure you are using the most resistant devices. Certifications such as Military Standard 810G protects your devices against drops and vibrations. Accordingly, IP67 ratings ensure that liquids like water, snow, or any other type of fluids don't impair functionality. Because of our focus on officer safety, we designed Argus BWC to not only meet, but actually exceed these standards. Argus has your back regardless of the environment you find yourself in. Additionally, your device should be able to keep up with the challenges your officers experience in the field, but the footage that you capture should also be kept safe. Should an officer's body-worn camera become damaged or tampered with, the integrity of those recordings must be maintained. If you are to build trust with your communities, they should be able to rest easy knowing that the footage captured by your body-worn camera is stored in a safe and secure manner. Additionally, this same logic should apply to the chain of custody for the evidence recorded by your body-worn cameras. Reliable video programs should alleviate the concerns of evidence being dismissed due to chain of custody issues. That is why with Argus BWC, event recording files are encrypted at all times with AES 256 encryption. As soon as an event recording is initiated, either with one of the automatic event detection methods that Harry mentioned, or manually, that data is guaranteed to be encrypted. Even while being transferred to Argus Data Vault, that encryption is still maintained. Lastly, we utilize redundant storage logic to ensure that not only are your files secure, but a backup of your storage is available regardless of a local or cloud deployment option. Now, with that in mind, it is important to recognize that no hardware is indestructible and service will probably be needed at some point in time. We all know things can go wrong or spontaneous issues can arise. However, these difficult situations should not stand between you and your community. Your agency must have a plan in place to minimize downtime if something should go wrong, which is why we like to leverage our decades of manufacturing and customer service experience to support you if and when that time comes. We offer up to 5 years of no-fault warranty that will cover any unintentional damage to your devices. So that way, when an issue arises, our service team can work with you for a quick resolution to minimize downtime for your department's hardware while also minimizing the resources you have to spend to fix the issues. Our technical support service team has you covered when you need it most. One of the most important things we hear from agencies is the need to retain control over your data and your contracts. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, so what really happens to our data if we leave? Signing up for an extended contract is a daunting task, and you might find yourself stuck in a situation where you aren't able to support your officers or your community, or both. That is exactly where Argus stands apart, making sure that your evidence is always easily accessible, even when you end your contract. Whether it's stored locally or uploaded to the cloud, you're never locked into a long-term contract that holds your evidence hostage. That means if your department changes vendors, your footage moves with you. No lost evidence, no surprises. It's your data, and you should own it. If you're interested in learning more about how the Argus Video platform can benefit your department, I highly recommend you check out Argus Solutions Forums. That is our monthly web series hosted by Harry, in which we go into detail on the features and functionalities of the Argus Video platform. Check out the link on our LinkedIn page for more details. And with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Jim.
Thanks, Kiefer. So you guys have given us a ton to think about today. I did want to throw up information here real quick. If you guys can quick draw on your phone, we have a QR code that will take you to our website to learn more about Argus itself. From there, you can reach our sales team to learn more information such as availability, pricing, and get a hold of us to help you configure your system. As well, if you go to customsignals.com/LinkedIn, it'll bring you right to our LinkedIn page. Like the guys were saying, about once a month or so, we host what we call Argus Solution Forum live on LinkedIn. That's where we go more in depth into the devices and the platform, and also give you guys the opportunity to ask questions live and in a group setting. Not just specifically about the devices, but how you guys can implement a brand new body-worn or in-car video program there. So with that, we'll throw it back to Steve from Police One. The audience sent in some questions. He's going to go through that with you guys and help us navigate that next.
All right. Thank you, panel. Great presentation. Really great information here today. And as just mentioned, it is time for the Q&A portion of today's webinar. And we're going to get that QR code up on the screen for you in a moment too here, everybody. But please send in your questions using the question mark icon that you can see there. Anything that you want to talk to our panel about here. And if you are ready for it here, panel, we will go into it here. The first question is as follows. Can I activate the Argus BWC remotely if I choose the live stream option?
No. So live streaming can only be activated if the BWC or Argus ITV are in record. We chose that methodology because we wanted to give officers a sense of, we wanted the officers to be able to consent to being recorded. We didn't want that remotely because we didn't want them to be surprised by being recorded or caught off guard during a private moment, say in the bathroom or during a lunch break, etc. So we built in that extra security feature for them.
Okay. Moving on to the next question here. What if I already have an existing system and platform?
So we actually offer a lot of assistance with deinstalling existing systems. We can also offer assistance with migrating files over to the Argus Data Vault if you would like to do that. But our dedicated team of field service technicians, they'd be more than happy to offer their expertise and knowledge on site. And like I mentioned, Argus Data Vault supports the ability to ingest video footage and files if you so choose to do so.
Right, thank you. Moving on to the next question here. What if we've never had a program before? What should we plan for? Just give us the landscape of what we should expect.
Yeah, so if this is your first time with a video program, we've got procedures set up to kind of walk you through this process. A lot of times, just give you a rundown. We'll be meeting with me. We'll sit and talk about, okay, what is your department actually looking for? What curtain capabilities do you have? How large is your department? How often do you expect to be taking videos? How long do you think your retraction time will be for your classifications, your attentions? All those go into consideration on finding the exact form of a video platform that you need. For example, we offer different local storage on-prem solutions. We find a lot of departments really like to know, hey, I've got my video evidence right there in that evidence locker. Because of that, what type of size do you need? We will work through that with you. One of the biggest things I think that will put us in the front is when we do the actual installation, I more than likely will be the one that come out there, and I will walk you through the entire process. We will open up the Argus Data Vault, your version of it, and figure out, okay, what roles do you want that best fit the makeup of your department? What permissions fit the makeup of your department? How can we make this platform the best for you? It's a lot of hand-holding that I personally really enjoy. I like coming and being on the ground and seeing how to best implement our video solution. And so if this is your first time, just know we'll be there with you the entire way.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to the next question here. What if our agency doesn't have a dedicated IT person?
I'll take that. That happens quite often. It won't be the first time I've ever seen that. Luckily, we do have a really good field service team. We have a great engineering team who has experience dealing with, particularly, say, a department. I've recently had one of 6 officers. They don't have dedicated IT. We will work with you to figure out how to get everything installed and up and running as quickly and efficiently as possible. Not having an IT person is not a barrier to getting a video platform.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question here. How can I schedule a demo of the Argus platform?
We have links set up. I'm sure Jim will make sure those are available. I think we can get them on our Argus site as well. This will take you to a page where you can fill out. It's a quick survey. It'll open up a calendar with different available times. Again, this is entirely based on your schedule. We can work for you or work with you. We do everything here. We're actually sitting in a studio we have in our offices. And so we can do all our training through here. We can do everything from our body-worn camera, Argus data vaults, and in-car video systems. I will say if we want to see the entire suite of our Argus video platform, usually takes about 90 minutes, including questions. But if there's only one part, hey, I'm just interested in body-worn cameras, we can make that work as well.
Okay. And everybody, you can see the QR code up there on the page right now. So if you want to scan that and check it out, it is up there on the screen for you. Let's get back here to the questions. How should we handle evidence submitted by the public, such as cell phone video or video doorbell security footage?
Yeah, I'll take that one, Steve. So Harry kind of mentioned this, but to kind of expound a little bit more, Argus Data Vault supports the ability for multiple file types to be uploaded or manually ingested. So that could be documents, still images, video files, and we support a host of different file extension types. So you really don't have to worry about if it's going to be compatible with Argus Data Vault. And additionally, when that is uploaded, it also gets encrypted as well. So it's all very safe and secure, very accessible for your agency.
All right. Next question here. What kind of yearly fees do you charge, and do I get charged for service and maintenance?
So this might come to a surprise to a lot of people here, but we actually only charge a yearly license fee for access to Argus Data Vault, and that access is actually just upload access. So you always have access to viewing your footage, downloading your footage, exporting it, et cetera, et cetera. It's just uploading is restricted to a yearly license fee. And on top of that, we actually don't charge for technical service support or maintenance work.
Okay. How do you handle privacy concerns? That must come up quite a bit for you.
Privacy concerns, I'm going to assume this is asking more for videos that are being requested. Dealing with different privacy things I mentioned earlier, we talk about a redaction. Those are big options there. When it comes to the actual videos themselves, we have different ways to export. We showed the export link, so we can say, hey, I want to share this externally. Let me send them a link and have it limited. Okay, I can access this video for 2 weeks, or you can have the ability for them to download. Now, there are times where there is concerns, okay, you're just going to export this video and then anyone can watch it. We do have the capability to export encrypted videos that have to use a certain player to decrypt it and watch it. That has been requested before. We did take that into consideration when designing our platform. So if you want to have videos, even when exported and shared encrypted, that is entirely a possibility.
Okay, thank you. And then moving on to the next question here. Do you offer an app that allows for officers to label and view while in field prior to videos being downloaded from their BWC?
Yeah, I'll take that one, Steve. Absolutely. We offer an application called Argus Insight. It's available in the Apple App Store and in the Google Play Store. It is free to use by all of our customers. We don't charge a fee to use that. It allows you to connect to a private Wi-Fi connection to your BWCs that requires a secure login that's set up by your Argus Data Vault administrator. And that actually allows you to review footage, add annotations to it, add bookmarks, classifications, a whole host of other features. And yes, that's available to use for all of our agencies.
Okay. Talk a little bit more about the redaction feature that you were just talking about a little bit before, Harry. How complicated is this? Is this a frame-by-frame thing? Can anybody jump in and do this? Or how exactly does that work? It's very interesting.
Yeah, the redaction is extremely simple. I can train someone on the manual redaction, honestly, in about 15 to 20 minutes because it's basically a point and click. The way it works, for a quick rundown, very important to note, is you are never, ever editing the original piece of evidence. Evidence is copied and clipped and creates a new piece of evidence. So you always have that original video. From there, you can just choose how many different parts that you want to redact, be it visual or audio. And then it is using just a mouse and a scroll wheel, point and click. You can sit and watch the video, slow it down. Maybe you want to go half speed, hover over a face and watch it so you can cover everything. Use the mouse wheel to enlarge, shrinking. It's really easy to use and interact with. And then we do have the option to expedite it with the face recognition that can cut down that time, particularly if you have longer videos, having our system detect the faces, and then obviously you can go back, review it, and fill in anything or make any changes you want. Again, this is something that when I do installations and software launches for different departments, I will include or is included in our training with me.
Okay. So you were just talking about, slicing and dicing the video and that type of thing. Some of this information must be a boon to prosecutors, in the court system and everything. So talk a little bit about that. Is this presenting the information? Have you had any experience in that? How has that worked, in the courtroom with showing what actually was going on? It's one thing to sit there and describe how it is, but, we always say the video doesn't lie. So, talk a little bit more about that.
From what I've seen working with different departments, it really is empowering the department and their legal team, the city or county, in having these available and accessing them and accessing what they need and getting it to a prosecutor's office quickly, efficiently. Also getting it to a format where they can share it reliably in court. And also if they have any questions of, hey, I really want that original piece of evidence, like I mentioned earlier, getting that encrypted piece of evidence to them, they will always be secure that if another attorney wants that, that is always an option. The best that we could do, or any reliable video platform can do, is empower the department, empower the city, empower the county, so they have nothing but security in themselves and their evidence when they go to court.
Okay. I think everybody out there has some coworkers that are a little bit more adept with technology, and we have some coworkers that are, still using paper and file cabinets, that type of thing. So talk a little bit about, some of those folks in the latter category who aren't so technologically adept. How difficult is it to get these folks up to speed? How do you work with those folks that are a little bit more hesitant for this type of technology?
Yeah, I can take that because that's a lot of what I do when I am on site and doing trainings. And honestly, there are so many times where it is a mix with our evidence report cards. That is just a click button. That is a PDF. So I see departments where you have, let's say, some of the younger officers or deputies who are really into the tech and catch on really quickly. Well, they're clicking that button, putting that evidence report card, and it is still going to a file cabinet, using both, finding the correct balance. That being said, our system is extremely intuitive, from the software of Argus Data Vault to the devices themselves. The body-worn camera has 4 buttons. It is something that I can train about an hour to 90 minutes. And I always try to loop back a couple weeks later, make sure everyone's comfortable. What questions do they have after a couple weeks from installation? And every time I've done that, I'm always still pleasantly surprised with the comfort that they have. Again, everything is intuitive, and that is important in designing any video platform.
Okay. Thank you very much. Looks like we're running out of questions here. We're just about out of questions, but any last thoughts here, panel, before we wrap up?
Nope, nothing on my end, Steve.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, Kiefer and Harry and Jim, I want to thank you for being here today and for a great presentation. I've certainly learned a lot myself. We're going to wrap up here right now. Hey, we want to thank our sponsors for today, Kustom Signals, for sponsoring today's webinar. Great partners working with them. We've really enjoyed partnering with them again. So it's time for us to wrap up, everyone. But have a great rest of your day, and everybody stay safe. Take care now.
Thank you.
Thank you.